Thanks to Cisco for sponsoring our day of podcasting at KubeCon. We had some great conversations. Thanks again to Cisco. You can learn more about Cisco and their microservices platform at mantle.io. That's MANTL.io. Hey, it's Alex Williams, the new stack here at KubeCon on Wednesday afternoon here in Seattle. Here in Seattle. And I'm here with Ignacio, Pérez, Carretero.
Yeah, that's correct.
Great. And you're with Shuttlecloud.
Yes.
And you presented here at KubeCon, and we're looking to, talk to people who are actually using the Kubernetes technology. And so tell us what you presented and more about why you took the approach you did.
Sure. So I've talked about our experience with Prometheus because we are a small startup, small in the number of people that we work. So we are 7 people in the engineering team, and we might be 15 or 16 people, the whole company. So
which company?
Shuttlecloud.
Shuttlecloud, right.
Yeah.
And so what is Shuttlecloud?
What do we do?
Yeah.
So we offer to our customers an API to easily migrate or import email and contacts. So we help them grow by offering them a service to import their customers.
So they can import their email and create create a database out of that then, or is it more just a service that just stores the information?
I'll give you an example. No, we don't store anything. So one example, one of our clients is Google with the Gmail project.
Okay.
So if you happen to have a Gmail account, which almost everyone has,
I see what you do.
You can go to settings, accounts, and import your emails from your Yahoo or you name it account.
Right.
We support actually 247 providers.
Right.
So we offer that service to Google that offer that service to its final customers.
I see. So like you're the API provider. So for instance, if I'm signing up for a third-party service, they may integrate with Gmail then using your API.
That's correct.
Okay, great. So that turns out to be a lot of data then. Yeah. So tell us then what you presented about. Yeah, tell us, so start, I guess, again with Prometheus.
Sure. So I sort of started my presentation telling a little bit about our history, and on the very beginning we didn't have that need to have a whole monitoring in place in our company, but as you can imagine, as we started to grow, we needed to have some system. So we sort of analyzed all the different products that there were on the market. We asked different people, the DevOps community in Spain, for instance, and we decided to give it a try to Prometheus. And we wanted to try for a short period of time, and if it didn't work, try the next one. But it actually went pretty well.
Was it the first one you tried?
Yep.
Ah, really?
I told that in presentation that I'd love to tell the story, and then we tried this one and this one, and Prometheus was the best. But we were so happy from the very beginning, and it was the implementation was much easier than what we expected. So we kept on working with it.
What were your requirements for this project? What were you trying to learn and achieve?
Yeah, so we wanted, I don't think it's a specific case, our case, but we wanted to have some operation metrics, how our instances are performing, if some service up or down. We wanted also to monitor some business metrics, like how many migrations are we processing, it's their status, if they are going right or wrong. And we wanted also, some of the things that made us choose Prometheus as the solution is that there's it's a time series database that you can edit, and it's very flexible. So it has labels, and you don't have to decide from the very beginning the metrics you want to have. You can add them afterwards or edit them. That's one of the good things that we liked about it. Another thing is that there's no need of any external service. Like, for instance, for Sensu, you need a messaging system like RabbitMQ. Prometheus is independent, so you don't need anything else. And also, it's made in Go, so it's very easy to install and implement and give it a try, because this is what we wanted to do. So from all the solutions that we wanted to try, the first one, because it was the easiest to start with, was Prometheus.
Okay. And what were you doing before this?
We sort of have some different systems, most of them in-house solutions, and we had a lot of manual actions that we had to do to monitor, so it was not fully automated. So for the operation metrics, I gave that example. I'm not saying that it's correct, because obviously it's not, but we had some Chrome-based tasks that do the checks in every single instance and send an email in case something was going wrong. As you can imagine, if the instance is down, there's no one to send the email. So there are many things that are wrong with that solution. And for the external services like APIs or things so what they call black box monitoring, how we are being seen from the outside, we trusted Pingdom, and they also have another system, and they ping all of your services and check if that everything is all right with them.
What was the drawback of Pingdom then?
The drawback, I wouldn't say. No drawback. The main drawback was for the operations metric and the business metric, because an in-house solution with that email send was not optimal. As we started to grow and we started to scale, that didn't scale.
How does Prometheus solve those problems, and how does it solve the problem of scale?
First of all, as soon as you install Prometheus, you already have the node exporter that offers a ton of metrics that can be useful, and that's by default. So you don't have to spend any time creating those metrics, and you already have them. When you have the metrics, you can set alarms for them, and you can have. We have an integration with Pingdom, with PagerDuty, and we get directly paged for the thresholds we've set. So it's very straightforward.
So you set thresholds for, in Prometheus, and so when those thresholds are met, then you get it. But then a PagerDuty, response is generated.
That's correct. That could happen, or an email if it's not that important. So you can also set the priorities. The action you want the alert manager to trigger. Like, if one example, and I'm going to tell you how we iterate over that, and we don't have it like that, but on the very beginning, for instance, for the hard drive usage, we had first, if that hard drive is over 80% capacity, send us an email. If it's 95% capacity, page someone. But there are a lot of things that are very interesting about Prometheus, and there's, for one example, is the predict linear function, and you can create alerts like, if with the current rate this hard drive will be full in 2 days, send me an email. So I have 2 days in advance to plan the actions. So you don't have that urgency, like it's 95%. And as you can imagine, you don't really know. It's very difficult to set absolute thresholds. It depends on the rate. There are some hard drives like 500 megabytes, and you can have them forever, and other ones depends on the rate of how it's getting full.
So you're using Prometheus for this for these purposes. What are you using it in conjunction with? Are you using it with Kubernetes?
Not yet, but we're planning to move to Kubernetes.
Okay. So how are you using it in kind of like in corollary with your overall technology stack then? And how is it being integrated across your different across your platform?
Yeah, we had to. So, as I said, for the operations metrics, we had the node exporter. For the black box monitoring, or how our APIs are performing, there's black box exporter, which is a component of Prometheus that works seamlessly. But we had to implement our in-house exporter for the business metrics, because obviously that's something very custom.
Right.
So we actually get all the statuses for all migrations in a non-relational database, We digest that information to get some stats, but apart from that, we have an operation exporter that directly connects Prometheus or allows Prometheus to pull the data from that CouchDB. So we have direct connection through that exporter from Prometheus to the real results from the migrations. This is what the in-house solution we had to implement, which was very easy in comparison with other systems to connect those things. So our engineering solution and Prometheus.
So you get all this information in real time. How do you visualize this? How are you actually seeing this information?
We use that's also something I mentioned. It's pretty straightforward to put Grafana on top of Prometheus.
Okay.
So literally it takes minutes to connect them, and then the language used to create the charts in Grafana is a PromQL, which is precisely the same one used in Prometheus for doing your querying. And so you try your querying Prometheus, Control-C, Control-V in Grafana, and you have the chart. So it was very nice, very easy. So we have, long story short, we have Grafana on top of Prometheus, and we have the charts on how we performing at that time, at any given time.
Right. How do you find PromQL?
I actually don't have any experience with any other monitoring system, so I'm not the sys guy. So this was my first experience with a monitoring solution, and I found it pretty logical, like obvious. Not obvious in the sense that there's some things and some syntax you have to learn, but I think it's quite understandable.
What are the upstream, requests that you're making now for Prometheus? Are you contributing to the project at all?
We are not yet, because as I said, we're only 7 people. But we have in our backlog, we have some of the things we want to collaborate with.
Like what?
Like there's one right now. There's one CouchDB exporter, but this one only monitors the metrics about how the database is performing, but not its content. And we trust a lot we are on high level availability, so we trust a lot on database replications, and we have some metrics that we are right now monitoring about CouchDB replicas. And there's a feature in Prometheus, I'm sorry if it's taking too long for the answer, but there's a feature in Prometheus that can parse data from a text file, and we are doing this with that solution, and it shouldn't be like that. And we're planning to collaborate with that CouchDB exporter to add that functionality so that there are some metrics about the content of the database.
So what are some of the other aspects of this presentation that you discussed that maybe I didn't touch on?
That you don't have to have a lot of money or a great budget to implement Prometheus. That's why the talk is called "Why It's Good for Your Small Startup." Because we've been there, and when you're a small startup, you don't have the people and you don't have the resources to implement an expensive solution, and it's very straightforward, very easy to implement, but also right now we are currently monitoring 200 instances. It might not sound as that many, but for a small team, 200 is already some of them, with only one medium instance in GCE and a micro instance for meta monitoring, as we're still not in HA, but only with 2 instances and a 30 gigabyte hard drive, we can monitor the whole 200 instance infrastructure. And if you do the numbers, that's not a lot of money. So on a monthly basis, that's compared to other solutions that achieve money in dollars solution that you can implement.
Yeah, it's affordable. Yeah. So you're running on AWS.
We are currently running on GCE. We used to run on AWS, but we migrated to GCE.
Okay, so you're running your instances on GCE. Right. Okay. Okay. And were there any other aspects of it besides the affordability of it that you touched on?
How simple it is to, at least with what we've done with it, how easy it is to set up.
How did you illustrate it? How how do you quantify that? What does it make it so easy? Is it just what is it about that process that makes it so easy?
I would say that
the UI or
just having the node exporter, which comes directly with Prometheus, and Prometheus itself, you already have a ton of metrics that are very interesting, and you only have to set up the alerts. So in that sense, you don't have to spend a lot of time, developer time, getting metrics or installing Prometheus. So to begin with, I think just to give it a try, it's very easy and very affordable. And if you are constrained by resources, to have something that you can see the results easily and very quickly, I think it's...
Yeah, and that usability speaks to the cost effectiveness.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you guys use GCE?
Not only because of the... I'd say that in GC we have a lot of traffic to Google services or Google APIs.
Right.
So we are sort of a corner case because we use a lot the Google APIs and the traffic, the bandwidth to those Google APIs is for free. So for us, it's a cheaper solution because we don't pay the traffic to the Google APIs. That's why GC is very good.
So you mentioned a few, but are there any other major things you'd like to see come out of Prometheus that would be helpful for you guys, and as you continue to deliver this service that you have that's obviously going to grow as more companies integrate APIs into their own services?
We are very excited as we are moving to Kubernetes. We are very excited to try the monitoring of Prometheus off Kubernetes. So we don't really know what we're gonna see, but already from the talks, we are very excited to do that, and we're very looking forward to grow our Prometheus and expertise, and we could help in the future. But currently, with what we have, we're not missing any major thing.
Right. So you are going to. What are you thinking about doing with Kubernetes then?
I guess we're not. A lot of people might resonate with that, but we're the under usage we have with some instances. So in order to optimize our resources, and we could allocate different pods in the same node. So as not to have, as we have right now, one instance per service.
So right now you have one instance per service.
That's correct. So for the services that are directly migrating information, data, we don't have a problem because we can do the fine tuning of how much of the resource of the instance we are using. But for other resources, we definitely can improve that.
So you can run multiple containers on then on a host, for example.
Exactly.
Which you're not doing now. You're running VMs essentially then?
Not VMs, but directly the service in the instance.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now you're just starting that process? Yeah.
We're still on the very beginning, but excited and looking forward to it.
What are your hopes for it? What do why would you invest in your small startup? Why would you invest your time and energy in this?
Because we believe it's a clean solution, it's a good idea, and we could benefit from it. So it's definitely.
Why is it? What makes it clean? What's the benefits?
Yeah. So first, the economic reason that we're gonna save money having less instances or not as many instances in place. Then, because we've already seen some user cases where they already moved their infrastructure to Prometheus, and it went fine. And third, because we are we are in a process of having our system more in a, more in a 12
factor.
In a 12 factor way. I cannot say that we are already there, but we are moving to that goal. So that's why we believe that it's something we can benefit economically, and also the expertise and the use cases we've seen, we're going to go in the same direction.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Ignacio. Appreciate your time to take to talk with us about what you presented on Prometheus here at KubeCon, and the best of luck, and keep us posted on your developments with Kubernetes.
Thank you for having me here and for having the interest in listening to our story.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Cisco for sponsoring our day of podcasting at KubeCon. We had some great conversations. Thanks again to Cisco. You can learn more about Cisco and their microservices platform at mantle.io. That's MANTL.io.